What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be reinstalling this exhaust on my FA5 Civic SI. The process is going to be pretty similar for the SI or the base, depending on if you like the HFP exhaust or this muffler shop special, whatever. The process is going to be pretty similar. You'll notice I said reinstall. I recently took a long road trip in this car, and there was no way I was dealing with this $75 muffler shop special for 10 hours a day because it drones like a mother. That said, I miss the super loud VTAKKK noises, so it's going back on today. The only tools you're going to need, this is so simple: jack, stand, breaker bar with a 19mm socket for your lugs, obviously your shitty exhaust right there, ratchet and socket, ratchet, wrench, and extensions. I couldn't remember if it was a 12 or a 13. We'll figure it out when we get out of there. Alright, let's get to it. Okay, this first step is optional, but I think it's way easier for access. Just the exhaust runs behind the passenger rear wheel, so I just take it off. So break loose your lugs before you jack the car up in the air. Again, 19mm socket and a breaker bar will get you through, no problem. Okay, lugs are loosened. Now we need to jack up the rear of the car. If your car's a manual, put it in gear, first gear preferably, and then chock the front wheels. If you don't have chocks, putting it in gear will probably work, but you know, safety first, I don't want to die out of this piece. So, we need to jack the rear end of the car up. These cars are super easy. Look for your toe point. That's welded into the back of the chassis, so you can jack up right on there. Okay, grab your stand, slide that sucker right under the pinch weld, the reinforced spot, right there. Good. Lower your jacks. It's the car sitting on the stand, and leave the jack under there for safety. Alright, pull the wheel off. You might want to glove up, especially, you know, exhaust, wheels, etc. It can be all dirty and gross, but I like to live dangerously, so no gloves for me. Wheel is off. Put that over to the side, take your lugs, put them in their little spot on the wheel so you don't lose those suckers. Okay, now we get to figure out if this is a 12 or a 13, because I just could not remember. Grab your wrench. And in my case, grab this piece of cardboard because it's wet outside. Oh, so comfortable. Here's your exhaust. Your rear muffler goes to the mid pipe and up. You need to focus on these two spring bolts right here. And let's see, are they 12? Are they 13? Or am I just... God, I suck. Or am I just totally wrong? They're a 12. Okay. Perfect. By 13. You might need extension once this bolt starts loosening up, because this lateral link's in the way and the spring's in the way, and stick an extension right through there and you're all good. Let's get started. Lefty loosey. Honda does use spring bolts here on the rear muffler, which means you want to try and relieve the tension equally, otherwise one's going to shoot off and you might lose an eye. These ones aren't tensioned too badly and they're pretty easy to work with, but all the same, try and do this evenly, do one side at a time. It's only a 2-bolt flange, so it's super simple. It's a really lovely sound. I really like that. Not gonna go deaf or anything. Where are my extensions at? See, I used the extension, went onto the little lateral link and through the side of the spring, and it's much easier now. Alright, we need to stop now and work on the other side so that spring bolt doesn't snap off and fucking take an eye out. Okay, with that sucker, let's slide into the car. I've taken these on and off a few times before, so they're a little bit less stubborn. But if it's your first time removing these, obviously hit them with some WD-40 or whatever before you start doing this, otherwise you could be in for a bad time. All the tension's off the spring now, as you can see, because I loosened both sides. Hopefully it won't fucking shoot out at me and poke an eye out. Let's go back to the other spring bolt. Grab our handy dandy tools here. It's raining in SoCal, it's so weird. It's like the gods didn't want to bestow this car with mad VTAKKK sounds, but doing it anyway. But I'm sure a nice exhaust, like an HFP or some sort of quality aftermarket exhaust is better, but this super cheap muffler shop exhaust, it drones like no other on the highway. The trade-off is VTAKKK sounds so good, so it's worth it for me. Unless you're on a road trip, then it sucks. But if you're deaf or have aspirations of being deaf, it's great. Okay, that one's out. Okay. In case your 2 spring bolts are out and the axle back is loose. From here, all you should need is a little bit of muscle to get this sucker out. Honda made this actually pretty ingenious. Shut up. It's like a triangle shaped hanger, so what you do is you remove the top part and drop the whole thing down. Hope it doesn't drop on my face. That's probably gonna drop on my face. Oh well, not too much to mess up there. Pretty ugly motherfucker anyway. The first time I did this, I just like blasted this sucker with like PB blaster and it came right off with a bit of persuasion. It's like literally stuck on by force of will. Come on. Ah, there we go. Alright. There's your hanger. There's the chassis mount right there onto the rear frame rail. The axle back is now to freak mount. So this is your exhaust hanger. Slide it up off the chassis mount, whole thing drops down. I'm guessing most exhausts have you reuse this hanger here, so off you go. Well, at least our shitty exhaust does. If you're coming from other cars, maybe even other Hondas, you might be disappointed to learn that the stock SI muffler, it's like damn near hollow. It weighs like nothing. Like the BMWs or the Subaru, the stock rear mufflers, they weigh like 50 pounds a pop. If you're hoping for weight reduction, sorry to break it to you, you're not really getting too much. Here is the super shitty muffler shop special exhaust I got for 75 bucks. Look at the size difference in the mufflers. This only weighs 5 pounds less than that. The thing is like 4.9 according to the bathroom scale, so if you're hoping for mad weight reduction, sorry. If you're hoping for mad VTAKKK noises though, you're gonna be very excited and very pleased. Okay, let's move this junk out of the way. Alright, because the muffler on this guy is a little bit smaller, it's a little bit easier to slide back into place. Just kind of very generally put it in the right spot back there. We'll get around to it later. So let's hang this sucker back up there. Line up your hanger. Just slip that sucker right back on. Boom. Okay. Your hanger's on. All we need to do is re-bolt up these spring bolts and we're good to go to piss off all the neighbors every time I cold start this thing. Have insufferable highway drone, but makes super awesome VTAKKK sounds. Much like removing these spring bolts, you kind of want to do them up together. Don't just like crank down one side and start on the other. Kind of go get this sucker halfway on, start the other one, get that about halfway on, and then kind of crank it down. Otherwise the tension on the spring bolt's going to be all funky and could snap off, which is not cool. Where's my 12? Where's my 12? Oh, there it is. Right next to me, that's where it is. Hey, there's the fuel tank. Let's not punch that as hard as I can. Oh no, come back! Don't want you to be gone forever. That's about halfway. This is also why you don't want to crank down one side at a time all the way, because the flanges might not be perfectly mated up. So you need a bit of wiggle room to kind of get them to sit right. Pick your angle of attack. I'm going right there. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Oh, such good fitment. This is like the world's shittiest, like, all brass and drum band. Crank this sucker down. I can't remember the torque spec. It's like 30 foot-pounds. It kind of just bottoms out right here. Okay. It's close enough. Alternatively, you could just not finish this up if you want even more VTAKKK sounds. I heard the exhaust leak sound is all the rage these days. Okay, you don't want to crank these down too hard. You can fucking snap those studs right off. That one looks good. Oh yeah. Oh baby. Alright. Back to this guy. Where's my extension? There's my extension. It's always the last place you look. Just double check this. I'm sure it's fine. This seems fine. Okay. There's your shitty axle back install. Done. What was that, like 15 minutes? Not even? Thank you, Based Honda, for making this easy. Okay, let's bolt the wheel back on, drop this sucker down, and see how many car alarms we can set off. Blah, blah. No one cares about lug nuts. We need to tighten these things. Lug nuts are extra weight. My wheels are held down with super glue and magic. Okay, I always just snug these things so they're not loose. I drop the car on the ground and then I torque them. Torque them? Torque them? Torque them. Torque them. Miley Cyrus style. Suspension's seated all funny, so I'm gonna roll the car back and forth before torquing the lugs down. Torquing? Torquing. Torquing. Torquing? Torquing the lugs down. I prefer torquing, that's just me. Oh, oh yeah, girl, all that bass. I'll let it idle while we're working on the lug nuts here. Oh yeah, it sounds so terrible. Just how I remembered it. Oh, I love it. Just give me more. Oh, I want to smell that. Alright, do as I say, not as I do. I have a pretty good feel for torquing lug nuts down. Haven't snapped the stud yet, but you should use a torque wrench to do this. Don't do what I do. I'm dumb. Okay, make sure they're snug. Then use the force and feel it out. Ready? Good. 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 Like I said, do as I say, not as I do. You don't want to snap a wheel stud. Unless you are a stud, like me, then go for it. That's how you install an axle back exhaust onto your Civic. Now go out and terrorize the neighborhood with your awful fart can.